Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm going to talk about my Crusader match with Salamanders. So this was the mission that we did. He was Salamander, so he had the option to be choose defense, and everything was pretty dang close to his side. Also, I believe the battle. At the start of the battle, each objective marker has a gestation tally total of 0, and each starts under the defender's control and remains so until controlled by the attacker. So if I don't take these objectives, they'll start tallying up really quick. Birthing a terror. If at any point there are 2 or more objective markers with a gestation total tally of 6 or more each, the battle ends. So he already controls all of them, and if 2 of them become 6, he auto wins. And then I think at the end, let's see, if the attacker the victor, each of the Crusader army gets 1 experience points, and I guess a new unit gets one experience point. If any objective marker has a gestation tally of 6 or more, the defender scores 90 VP and the attacker scores 0. So it's an all or nothing game. End of game. So if at turn 5 at the end of game any one of these is 6, he wins automatically. So I have to stop him from getting 2 6s, and at the end of the game, before the end of the game, I have to stop them any of them becoming a 6. So this is deployment. I have obviously my crisis suits with the the Cold Star Commander in Deep Strike. I have my Ethereal back here chilling because he's just farming CP. Amazingly, my dice rolled sweet for my Ethereal. I think every single turn I actually gain a CP. First time ever for something. I traded out a Skyray and a Stealth Suits for one of these guys because if I give him Titan's Bane and I activate his once a game ability to make him devastated wounds, that'd be pretty devastating. Also, he's actually upgraded in this game. Then I have my best Skyray ever, has +1 to ballistics and +1 to attack on his primary gun, but still fails epically. So again, I talked about how he has control over 3 objectives here, but luckily enough, as you can see, once we get there, this is kind of the new paint scheme I'm going, just a lot less yellow, so it stands out a little bit more. So these guys infiltrate, and I am touching that objective to take control away from him, and attackers has first turn. The red dice is the deployment. And then my other infiltrators over here. I hope I didn't get Tetris wrong. They do infiltrate, don't they? And yeah, my other infiltrator is touching that just enough so that they removes control from my opponent. That way they don't start ticking up right away. Let's see, I'm double checking Tetris real quick. I know to infiltrate. Yes, infiltrator's good. Deadly Demise 1. Yeah, I'm like facing death right there with my stealth suits. They just need, and luckily enough, I have first turn, and they have a gun drone, so they can gun drone and marker drone, so they can advance and still provide the marker light keyword. This is the only objective, obviously, I cannot deploy in or infiltrate in because it's in his deployment zone, pretty much. So I was so far ahead of him in terms of Crusader points that he had 4 blessings, and he gave the blessing of Hellfire rounds to his Desolation squad, which has full reroll to wounds against vehicles, including close combat. And also, obviously, with the Oath of Moment, he gets full rerolls to hit and the wound with these guys against vehicles. Okay, so end of my turn 1, I skedaddled, advance as much as I can. These guys are upgraded to have 16-inch of movement instead of 14. The vehicle upgrade they got was just a +2 to their movement. Luckily, we roll randomly, we don't pick. So they got in here, and I still position over here because I need them to stay up front. Like I said, all I needed was them for these guys to take the objective away from him, so he needs to get back onto it to start ticking. So that's 1 tick that he doesn't get on these 2 objectives. I advance these guys back. Of course, we're only rolling at 1 on the advance, and I move my Skyray out because they're going to be guiding, and I'm going to try to pop his Dreadnought, but I failed. and he's turn 1 over here. So the blue dice is the number of ticks on the objective. So on my turn it ticks, on his turn it ticks. So it's not per battle round, it's per opponent per turn. So this thing's going up pretty quick. We were wondering how he got up to 6 or more when there's only 5 rounds. It ticks per turn, per player turn. These guys are still hidden, and my Skyray took 7 damage from. I was saving pretty well with my Skyray, and he did shoot up my stealth suits, killed one, and 1-on-1 wound left. End of turn 2. It's a flying vehicle, so it can be on any level so long as it stays on top. Let's see what else we got here. Skyray backed up just a little bit because he got his. And these guys were backing up because these guys were coming in close, and they obviously cannot handle freaking, I think it's the aggressor squads. I guess where my stealth suit, my crisis suit destroyed both the dreadnought and the predator annihilator. I believe that's the annihilator with the autocannon and the twin last cannons on the side. I split fire and guided with my Tetras. I did, I think, 2 leader and 1 other guy and my commander on the big dreadnought, and then the other 3, 1, 2, 4, 6. Oh yeah, there were 6, so 2 and then 3 onto the dreadnought, and then the other 4 into the predator annihilator. Overcharged 6 guns, rolled 2 1s. And even with a CPU reroll, right back into another one. So one of my crisis suit died, just to get rid of those 2 big guys. Even though they're a pretty big threat for sure. So right now this is on 3, and this is on end of my turn 2. This is on 1 because he's on that objective. There's nothing on this one. End of opponent turn 2. Look at that. End of opponent turn 2. I did feel no pain on them, along with a CP reroll of saves, and good golly Miss Molly. Let's look at where it's these guys moved up so he could see clear line of sight into my crisis unit. And yeah, turn 2, end of turn 2, beginning of my turn 3. I only have 1 crisis unit left, and whew, that was trouble. So he was just staying here to keep that to protect that objective, to keep it ticking. You can't shoot through ruins, and first floor is blocked out again. And on my turn 3, so I was moving this guys around to try to shoot into this Terminators if I can. As you can see over here, I moved out as far as I can, 16 inches into that position, and then I moved my Riptide to try to take out as much of those, I believe it's the Terminators over there. We'll take a look over here. Poor stealth crisis units. And I was trying to back this up to try to find a way to shoot at something. But bad positioning, I did have indirect fire against them, and then these guys were also providing spots. And he's been whittling them a little bit because there's not very many of them left. So this is on, what is that, on 1? Yeah. I think that probably should have been on 2. So I end up putting a lot of shots into the guys, and I did split fire my commander, and I guided with the Tetras as well. So my commander, 2 of his guns went into him, and the other 2 went into the big squad of aggressors, and the leader went into the aggressors as well. I did overcharge, I believe it was 2 guns because I could CP reroll 1. And I didn't do enough damage. The split fire hurt a little bit, and then not being able to get full rerolls with my relic weapon, which is the high output burst cannon, is considered to be a Crusader relic. So any 6s of hit is considered to be a mortal wound on top of whatever normal damage it does. but I didn't do enough to kill him. My rolls were about average, maybe, on in terms of wounding and hitting, but saving was below average. So that's on 5. That's on, I believe, 3, and this is on going to be on 2. Yep, 2. So what saved me from completely dying out completely, because he can obviously shoot into close combat against vehicles, is running this Tetris over here and then charging them. I didn't do tank shock, for crying out loud, but that was fine. So long as I was tying them up, he had no abilities to fall back and shoot. So if he fell back, I am ramming these guys into him again and again and again. I am not letting them shoot. And that's what kind of saved my crisis unit. So he's still winning here because he out OCs me. And that's on 6 at the moment. So my he ended up killing the leader of my crisis and dealing some wounds to my commander. And he was on 2 wounds left. And the turn of 3, opponent turn 3. So he moved these guys up to stop being shot at from the big Riptide, so he can get into cover. Because I was picking him off with that Riptide this entire game. And then this is on 6, so I'm in trouble here a little bit. So I decided to move this guy out because he's just been sitting there farming me CP. I moved this up so I can shoot him. We'll see it here in a second. End of my turn 4. I was doing a fairly good job here of killing him, shooting him into close combat, and he hasn't really been damaging me very well. His melee was pretty bad, obviously toughness 7 on this and strength 4. So he was doing like 1 wound a turn even with all the hits. And then I end up moving over here, being able to just get enough of a line of sight to one of his guys, and I guided with my commander into them. Popped everything but 1 guy, and then did the move, shoot, and move with this guy because it is a battle suit and it does fly, so it counted. I thought I cheated him, but it did not. So I did enough. He has 7 on this objective at the moment. My commander finally finished the guy off in the shooting, or melee. Oh, shooting, absolutely. Forgot I could move him. I finally blew this. Well, you can see here, I shot my Skyrays into it and guided with these guys, and I popped everything I could into it, and then I had still them to shoot if need be. I think that is on. I don't remember. What number was that on? Let's see if you can see it. Good lord. That's a 5. Okay. So this is on 7 and that's on 5. So it's a close game. I out OC him here. I can't charge after I move, shoot, and move, so I could not do anything other than to try to take this down. End of opponent turn 4. So he did make it over here. He doesn't tick up because he did not have control over it yet. Well, he has. No, it's not sticky, so he doesn't have control over it yet. But he did tick it up on 6 at the end of my at the end of his turn. That is now a 6, and that is now a 5. So on my turn, it ticked down to a 6. He ran away, and then at the end of his turn, or we'll see. So now I blew him away from there. That's on a 6, and then this is on a 5. And I backed this up to try to get rid of this last guys. I need to explain that last bit on the that's a 7 and that's a 6 part. But yes, I moved them back to get on this objective to finish it off because these guys don't have heavy hitting weapons. And then I was going to move, shoot, and move into this objective, but we kind of just ended right here because I wiped them off the board. And so this is the objective right here. I did have my stealth suits over here to contest this objective just in case I did not kill him. So let's go back. How did that's turn 3, 6. Opponent turn 3. That's a 6. Then on my turn 4, that goes to 7. So yeah, that's a 7 right now. and that's a 5. So this is actually on. This is actually, I believe, on my turn. He already moved that up, and I moved that down. So on my turn, it was a 6, and he just made it over there. And then the end of his turn, this goes down to 5, and that goes up to 6. That's the reason why it was a 7. On my turn, we forgot to tick this down. So it was a very, very close game towards the end there. I had to make a move. I should have jammed up his Desolation Squad so much sooner with my Tetris. Because they're vehicles and they're eligible to shoot in close combat, they can still guide. So, and then the fact that they're strength 4 and toughness 7, and there's 7 wounds on them with a 4-up save. You know, I was luckily enough he wasn't able to wound them very much. But yeah, it was a very close game. I can't believe I lost my crisis units, but I lost so many of them at the end of, was it round 2? It was crazy. End of my turn 1. End of opponent turn 1. Yeah. Oh no, end of opponent. It was so crazy how I lost that many units. And I did go first, so this is me, and then this is. Where's my opponent at? Right there. Good lord, I lost 5 models in one shooting phase. He shot everything at them. He moved the aggressors. He shot with the intercessors over here. He shot with actually his even tech priests. It was crazy. It was a crazy close game. I had to move in quick. And luckily enough, with the move, shoot, and move, with the battle suit, this one in particular, to take that objective away from him, to start taking that down, I just made it. If I didn't move in time, I would have lost. My freaking ethereal here was giving me a CP every single turn. It was amazing. And trust me, it was me and him and then another person just making sure we're doing everything right here. So I did not cheat him in terms of him winning the game because of 6 and 6. I actually just made it to notch that down because I think at the end of his turn, at the beginning of mine, this was a 6 would go down to a 5, and this was a 5 that would go up to a 6. So at no moments were they at the same time as 6. I was just there just in time. I think he was trying to capture that to make that a 6 and this be a 6, but I've already captured this objective here. Then Tetris saved my crisis unit's life. Well, you know, from these guys because they jammed them up by getting a melee with them. So that again, their movement of 16 is crazy. So I can jam up people, but I have to be careful because I cannot fall back. If I fall back, that means I would have to. I won't be able to guide with them. So I have to be mindful of what's close by these guys. And luckily enough, they can't shoot out of combat. So this was a very, very fun and interesting game. This was his first game in Crusader, at least for 10th edition. He played it 9th and enjoyed it. I felt pretty bad because he had to roll battle scars for every single model he had. And I rolled for my crisis units and they were fine. And so this is, again, if you want to pause right here and look at the mission. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this one. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.